Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, and Joliet Memorial Stadium. It's St. Francis Fighting Saints soccer taking on Trinity International University in today's CCAC contest. Thanks for tuning in. Terry Bonadonna with you for the call of today's game. As the Saints take the field and get set to start things off with a kick back, we're underway. St. Francis wears white with gold shorts. They're going from left to right here in the first half, and they're going to be shooting into the south goal. Trinity International, the Trojans in all blue, and they're going from right to left for the first 45 minutes of today's game. They're shooting into the north goal. Ellie Provo kicks it away for the Fighting Saints. Provo in neon green to show off the fact that she is the goalkeeper. And same color on the Trinity International side for Sarah Davis, who mans the goal on the other side of the field. Rolled out of bounds on the near sideline, back towards the St. Francis corner. They're going to get the throw in here. Tossed back in play by Haley Hogue. And it rolls off to the middle of the field. Grace Giallo pushes it back to the right side. It's senior day here in Joliet. Two seniors honored before the game, Madison Hanyon and Olivia De La Rosa. Fighting Saints will try to get a good showing out of them today as Hanyon stands back on the defensive line and watches that one go out of bounds. Hanyon gets her first touch of the afternoon and she tosses it back into play along the far side. Here's Mariquin passing back once again to Hanyon. Alexis Mariquin, the freshman midfielder, sends it back towards the goalkeeper, Ellie Provo, lost near the box. Now Trinity looking for the cross, but it's deflected out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick. Just about a minute and a half into the action, so just underway here in Joliet. And the Fighting Saints trying to establish possession off this goal kick. We've been on this side of the field for the first few minutes. St. Francis trying to turn it around. Lauren Pekulski passes it ahead. Here's Kelly Petrowski in the middle of the field. Rolled off to the far side. Litzy Mendez. Mendez met two Trojan defenders, Chloe Costas and Morgan Busick, knocked her off the ball. Throw in for the Fighting Saints. Here's Mendez once again. Let's see Mendez trying to cut towards the middle of the field. Mendez looking for the cross there and intercepted by Abigail Olson. Trinity on the move, going back the other way, and a nice job taking it away by St. Francis. Natalie Salgado jumped in the passing lane, and the Saints trying to mount an attack from the left side. It's Mendez. Mendez working with Mariquin, and they lose the ball, but stepped back up and taken away. Here's Mendez. Mendez cuts towards the middle, deflected by Tubb, and Kaylin Tubb is able to stifle the St. Francis attack. Fighting Saints trying to keep it moving forward. Trinity knocks it out of bounds. Rachel Woods got her foot on that ball. A throw in for Haley Hogue coming up from the defensive side. Trying to kickstart this offense. Martina Katurba into the middle field. Litzy Mendez. Tap back to Kelly Petrowski, and Petrowski's pass is intercepted. Battled for it, the edge of the box. Won by Trinity and cleared. Down the field, Grace Giallo watches it bounce back, and she'll watch it the whole way because it rolls all the way back into the hands of Ellie Provo. 41-20 on the clock, so just a couple of minutes into this one. No shots for either side just yet. Trinity trying to change that here as they make their way forward. Madison Hanyon jumps into the passing lane, takes it away, boots it downfield, tipped to the outside by Mendez. This is Mariquin. Mariquin on the far sideline, rolls it back towards the midfield circle, intercepted by Trinity International. And now the Trojans are on the attack, out in front of the pack. In the box, a shot and a diving save made by Ellie Provo. Provo stops the shot taken by Cameron Hunter, the senior striker out of Piatone, Illinois. Hunter comes up empty. Nice play by Provo. And the Saints start to counter the other way. Here's Katurba, chipping it ahead. Looking for Mendez. Out a little bit in front of Mendez. She's able to control it for a moment. Deflected by Rachel Woods and back to midfield. Haley Hogue heads it the wrong way. Now a race for the ball. Natalie Salgado trying to win that race, and she wins it in that she at least keeps the offense off the ball for long enough for Ellie Provo to jump on top of it. Nice work by Salgado and Provo, turning away Cameron Hunter. Still scoreless as the Saints get a free kick just shy of midfield. Set up for Petrowski. Petrowski goes straight down the center. Hit high up into the air. Mariquin wins it off her chest, but taken away by Trinity and Morgan Biusic. At midfield, nice job by Lauren Pekulski with the challenge to take it back. Martina Katurba ahead off the back of the foot of Olivia De La Rosa. Pekulski steps up and loses it to Trinity. Back across midfield on the St. Francis defensive side. Haley Hogue watches that roll out of bounds. She'll get a throw in here. She tosses it in to Petrowski. Back to Grace Giallo. Giallo sets things up. Cameron Hunter shadows her, and Giallo had nothing in front of her. So ultimately she just goes back to the goalkeeper Provo, allows her team to reset. Here's Natalie Salgado spacing things out to the outside and out of bounds, looking for Pekulski along the near sideline. Came up a little bit short on her and kicked it out. Rachel Woods gets the throw in for the team in blue. Salgado steps in front of the pass and takes it off the foot of Cameron Hunter. Nice work by Salgado. Pekulski downfield to Olivia De La Rosa. De La Rosa heads it at midfield and out of bounds. Pekulski stepped up, couldn't quite get there in time, so it's a throw in for Trinity International. We're down to about 38 and a half minutes to play in the first half. Still very early. Petrowski deflected at midfield, taken by Henn, and Henn taps it back. On the defensive side now, that's Kaylee Rice, and tapped out of bounds. Last touch there by Rachel Woods. Saints throw it in, goes right back to Trinity on the defensive side. This is Rice. Rice turns it upfield, deflected off of Olivia De La Rosa, and then after that, it ticked off of number 12 on blue, Rachel Woods. And that gives a throw into Haley Hogue and the Fighting Saints. So the Saints catch a little bit of a break there. And now they'll try to stay in the attacking zone. It's Salgado. Salgado sends it off towards the box, headed to the sideline and out of bounds. Another throw in coming for the Fighting Saints. A lot of play down on this sideline right now. Hogue fires it ahead for Petrowski. Petrowski didn't have position, taken away by Trinity. Giallo steps up. Cameron Hunter wins that challenge with with Giallo. And now Salgado steps in and hits it back to the goalkeeper Provo. And they'll reset things from the defensive end. Haley Hogue along the near sideline. Hogue tries to keep it in bounds and does not. It's out for a Trinity International throw. Just one shot on goal so far. It belongs to Trinity. Cameron Hunter couldn't get one by Ellie Provo, who made the save, so we remain scoreless early in this first half. Fighting Saints have done a good job holding possession lately, although they lose it right here. Hunter loses the ball to Grace Giallo. However, prior to that, there had been a foul, just a delayed whistle until Trinity lost possession. Peyton Siragusa is down for the Trojans at the football field's 30-yard line. And she's trying to stretch it out now up on her knees. Looks like she might have had the wind knocked out of her. Based on her reaction, Siragusa a little bit slow to get up, but she is up on 2 feet now. And looks like she's in position to remain in the game and get back in the action right now. She trots back to join her teammates. Lauren Henn has the ball set up to take the free kick. This one 38 yards off the net to the left side. Henn's gotten the whistle for the go-ahead. The ball rolls away a little bit thanks to some wind blowing south to north right now. Across the field, right to left. That free kick didn't go much of anywhere, but Trinity's still trying to keep the attack alive. De La Rosa taps it for St. Francis to Petrowski, and Kelly Petrowski sends it back across midfield. Immediately intercepted by Trinity, but taken right back by Petrowski. Petrowski in the midfield circle, back to Grace Giallo, and Giallo rolls it forward, intercepted there by Rice. Kaylin Tubb pushes downfield, looking ahead for Abigail Olsen. Couldn't find the freshman forward. It's out of bounds, and it belongs to the Fighting Saints. They're going to get a goal kick here. 35 and a half minutes to play, first half. Not a lot of action in either box so far. Most of the game has been played somewhere near the midfield line. Very evenly matched teams so far. Both teams come in with records not where they'd like them to be, but both playing some of their best soccer of the season lately. A chance now for Trinity International in the box. Knocked away. Not quite cleared by St. Francis. There's the clearance. Nice work by the Fighting Saints defense as they're able to hold strong on that attack from the Trojans. On the far side, Trinity will get a throw in here. Chloe Costos will take it. Here's Mariquin to De La Rosa at midfield. De La Rosa turns to her right, knocked off her foot, got it right back. Here's Natalie Salgado. Salgado fires it ahead for Lauren Pekulski. Pekulski tries to turn upfield. She runs right into Rachel Woods, though, and Woods takes it away. Litzy Mendez gets it back for the Fighting Saints. And now Mendez, who scored a couple of goals last week, trying to keep possession for St. Francis. Shakes one defender, but kicks it away. Given up to Costos at midfield. Sent back into the attacking zone for St. Francis. Mariquin battles for that ball. She wins it. Ahead for Martina Katurba. Back over to Mariquin and sent to the other side of the field. Lauren Pekulski tries to catch up to that ball, but it's knocked away from her. Good defense by Rachel Woods. Throw in for Haley Hogue on the near side. Knocked off the foot of Pekulski by Woods. Another throw in for Hogue, stepping up about 5 yards downfield. Into Martina Katurba. She turns into the box and cleared. Back to the Saints. Pekulski challenged and lost. Here's Salgado for the Fighting Saints. Salgado works her way right to left. Pushed ahead to Mariquin. Mariquin taps it off to Katurba. Katurba sends it back a few yards and now starts to make her attack. Mariquin around a defender. Down into the far corner. Tips it off to Mariquin and too far out in front of Mariquin. She let her out of bounds. A throw-in coming up for Trinity International with 33 minutes to play in the half. Hit out of bounds by the Trojans. They're not able to sustain a possession there. Back to the Fighting Saints. St. Francis was a 4-3 overtime winner against St. Xavier in their last game. That one was on Tuesday. Pushed ahead by Trinity and down into the box. Ellie Provo scoops it up. That was their first win of the spring season. Their previous victory came against Indiana Northwest back in November. Before the long stoppage, conference play didn't begin again until late February. Trinity at midfield, gets past midfield. Knocked away. Good defense by the Saints. Here's Salgado rolling it out to the near side, and Haley Hogue, and Hogue turns it upfield. Rachel Woods for the Trojans. Woods rolls it to the sideline. Pushed ahead to Olsen. And right back to Rice. Rice's ball goes down the field past anybody. Ellie Provo picks it up just before it goes over the end line. So she punts it away. Fighting Saints at one point lost 5 consecutive games. They've gotten positive results, though, in 2 of their last 3, a tie and a win. So they're starting to pile up some points. They'd like to add a few more today, or at least one. They've got a run right here. Natalie Salgado rolls ahead, and no attackers there for St. Francis, so it rolls back down into the Trinity defense, and they give it back to their goalkeeper, Sarah Davis. Davis, a sophomore, has not been challenged in the net yet. Martina Katurba will try to change that right now as Katurba rolls back to her right, gets into the middle of the field and loses the ball. Very well defended by Trinity International. And that was Morgan Biusik who made the final play in order to take that ball off the foot of Katurba, who had made a very nice individual run up to that point. In the middle of the field, Lauren Henn taps it back to Kaylin Tubb. Pushed ahead to the sideline. Back into the middle of the field to Henn. Henn, the leading goal scorer for Trinity International this year, loses the ball off the first touch, but Madison Hannion's pass ricochets right back to her. Here comes Siragusa. Siragusa pushes into the box, and that's where Ellie Provo is able to scoop it up. Like St. Francis, Trinity International has struggled at times during conference play. They lost 3 straight games at one point. Late February, early March. They've turned things around, though. Their offense has really gotten going. They've scored 18 goals over their last 3 games. Their offense hadn't done much all season prior to that point. Here's Pekulski ahead to Haley Hogue along the sideline. Hogue keeps it in bounds. Pekulski back upfield, taken away by Trinity. Now Litzy Mendez for the Saints. To Kelly Petrowski on the right. Petrowski rolls it right back to Mendez. The defense trails. Mendez trying to set up the offense. Pushed ahead to Katurba. Katurba, no-look pass back to Mendez. 2 defenders in the way, and it's taken away by Trinity. Under a half hour to play in the first half. Still no score. Still no serious threats for either side. Cameron Hunter had one decent opportunity for Trinity earlier in the match, and Ellie Provo was able to make a diving save to fall on top of the ball. Other than that, not a ton of action in scoring range. These two teams have played each other very well at the midfield level. Madison Hannion takes a shot right there on a kick to the face. She's down a little bit. That hurts. Obviously no intent there, but an uncomfortable feeling for Hannion as the clock stops. 28 minutes and 44 seconds. Hannion's okay. It's going to sting for a while. She'll feel it, but she'll be able to play through it. So things restart back on the defensive side for St. Francis. Back over to Ellie Provo, who rolls it ahead to the defense. Hannion turns it towards the sideline. Mariquin loses it off the first touch. Saints get it right back down the sideline. Mariquin tries to keep it in bounds and can't. Trinity International possession. On the right side, it's Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski gets it forward to Litzy Mendez. Mendez trips over the ball, and Lauren Henn is there to clean it up and makes her move the other way. Grace Giallo steps in front of her, and Litzy Mendez steps in to finish off that steal. Tubb back to Henn. Lauren Henn's ball is deflected by Natalie Salgado. Salgado jumps on top of it and keeps it going forward across midfield. Salgado steps back off to the left side. It's Mariquin. Mariquin gives it a big kick down the middle of the field, a little too big. Nobody there in white. And it is scooped up by Sarah Davis. Trinity comes into today's match with a 4-5 record overall. As a team, they've scored 24 goals this year, and as I mentioned, 18 of them have come in the last 3 games. So their first 6 games combined, they only scored 6 goals. So they were not an offensive juggernaut until recently. Obviously, the level of competition has changed. There's a slight trip, and that's going to give a free kick to Trinity International. And you can make that argument that maybe their schedule has eased up and they've played better as a result. You can also make the argument that they're finally playing up to their potential. That was just a little slow in coming with the unorthodox schedule this season. Either way, they've been playing great soccer lately, and the Saints are on their guard against them today. 26:40 showing on the clock for the first half as the ball is set up for a free kick. Sent away by Hunter right in the edge of the box and deflected by Natalie Salgado. Right back to Tubb, and Kaylin Tubb tries to keep the momentum rolling for Trinity. Deflection there by Mariquin. Ball is retrieved by Biusic. Shane Biusic over to Morgan Biusic. Tipped away by the Fighting Saints. There's a header by Petrowski to Lauren Pekulski. Pekulski's header is returned by Woods, and Trinity International is back on the attack. Hunter deflected by Hogue, but Hunter wins the battle as Hogue hits the ground. Trinity remains on the offensive here. Tubb loses the ball to Litzy Mendez. Nice defense by Mendez. Mendez rolls it off to the right. Here's Olivia De La Rosa. Nice tap by De La Rosa to get around Rachel Woods, but taken away. Good defense there by Kaylee Rice. Ellie Provo steps in front of Kaylin Tubb and prevents that run. On the counterattack, Trinity International almost had an opportunity to score, but Tubb was not able to beat Ellie Provo. St. Francis is back on the move. Back to the defensive end. Trinity International takes over. Rice at midfield to the left side. This is Hunter. Tapped ahead towards Hunter, but out of her reach. That ball drifted just a little bit too far for Peyton Siragusa. Under 25 minutes to play. First half, no score. To the near side, it's out of bounds. Here's a throw in for Woods. Along the sideline, Hunter looks to center it. And taken by Olsen of Trinity. Olsen's ball intercepted by Madison Hanyon. Katurba and Mariquin work their way downfield. Here's Litzy Mendez. Nice pass back to Mariquin. Mariquin making a run. Tries to get the through ball to Katurba and couldn't quite get there. Kicked out of bounds. It belongs to St. Francis on the throw-in, but Trinity International can get their defense back. Nice recovery by TIU. As the Saints' run was thwarted. Still on the attack. It's Giallo. Rolling to the center of the field, Petrowski back to Haley Hogue. Hogue on the near side of the field. Rolls it towards the sideline, towards Lauren Pekulski. Here's Olivia De La Rosa. Back to Pekulski. Pekulski looking to set things up downfield, trying to get it through to Haley Hogue, and intercepted by Kaylee Rice. Hunter ahead for Olsen, and Grace Giallo steps in the way of that pass. Giallo to the outside, Pekulski tipped towards that sideline, and right off the sideline, Haley Hogue keeps it in, but to Peyton Siragusa, and Siragusa is able to control possession for Trinity. Across midfield for the Trojans. Shane Biusic deflected, back to the midfield circle. Litzy Mendez and Olivia De La Rosa are there for St. Francis. Mendez, 1 against 3, racing for that ball, trying to beat Rachel Woods to it, but Woods gets there first. Woods turns the other direction, can't shake Mendez, and finally loses it out of bounds. Well played by Litzy Mendez, creating the throw-in for St. Francis down deep in the attacking third of the field. Haley Hogue waits for the ball to be rolled to her, and now she'll toss it in over her head. Right to Mendez. Mendez against 2 defenders tries to turn it towards the net unsuccessfully, intercepted by Trinity, but the Saints defense steps up across midfield, is able to keep the attack alive only briefly. Possession stolen by Trinity International. Deflected back by the Saints. It's Haley Hogue. 22.5 minutes to play in the first half. We're exactly halfway through the first half of play today. Good ball down the right sideline. Not good enough as it's too far for Shane Biusic. Shane, the older of the Biusic girls. Morgan Biusic, a freshman. Shane's a senior. Both came in from California to play for Trinity International, who looks for their first goal and the first goal of the game. Tubb passes it to Woods, and Woods trying to get it forward, loses possession. Here's Giallo. Giallo weakly down the right side of the field, taken back by Trinity International. Peyton Siragusa. Siragusa turns towards the middle of the field, looking to spread it out wide. Olsen can't reach it. Deflected away by Salgado towards the sideline and out of bounds. Beautiful sunny afternoon for soccer here today as the game was pushed up a few hours from 3 to noon. And at noon we have perfect weather, 60 degrees and sunny at the opening kick. Clouds are starting to roll in a little bit. Cameron Hunter makes her way into the box. There's the cross, a shot, and that's a goal. Set up by Hunter, scored by Lauren Henn. And Henn has her team-leading 7th goal this season. Big first goal for Trinity International. These two teams have played a very even first half. 21 minutes on the clock. And Trinity is on the board. It couldn't have been drawn up any better right there as Hunter was able to break free of the defense. Perfect cross from Hunter. And a good, strong finish by Henn, who does that more often than not. Like I said, 7 goals on the year. And so that's a huge one because the Saints, even though they've controlled possession a little bit more frequently than Trinity International has in this game, they have not been able to get any good shots off. Not any really serious scoring threats at all. But that was okay when it was a stalemate. Now they trail, and they're going to have to turn up the heat a little bit offensively. Kinsey Gomez is in the game for Trinity International following the goal. Goal came in the 24th minute. 7th of the year for Lauren Henn. Ball sent wide to Caitlin Olsen. Out of bounds. Kaylin Tubb, rather. Here in the middle of the field, it's Henn. Costos on the right side. Gets it ahead for Kinsey Gomez, and it is deflected away from Kinsey Gomez and out of bounds. It's going to be a corner kick here from the near corner for Lauren Henn of Trinity International. Henn has it set up with the rest of her team way over on the far side. Only one player standing in front of the net. Now they start to make their move forward. There's a shot and over the net out of bounds. Shot from Peyton Siragusa. Sails over the crossbar. And with 19 minutes to play in the first half, St. Francis has a goal kick coming up. 1-0 Trinity International. The visiting team has the lead thanks to the goal from Lauren Henn just a couple of moments ago. Here's Olivia De La Rosa backing down. Nice job by De La Rosa controlling her positioning there. That one off De La Rosa's left foot, taken away by Kaylin Tubb. Pushed down the field by Gomez towards the back line, and Ellie Provo watches it go out of bounds. Trinity trying to reach the 500 mark today with their 5th win of the year and the 10th game played. They haven't been at 500 since they were 1-1 after the first 2 games of the season. That's when they started their 3-game losing streak. They've straightened things out, and if they can pull out the victory today, it'll be their first winning streak of the season. They have not won back-to-back games yet this year. Patrick Gilliam in his 24th season as the head coach at TIU has done a fantastic job with them, but they finished with a losing record last year, 8-9. They find themselves below 500 this year, so this would be a big victory for them just to get over that hump and get back to the 500 mark. Try to move over in their next game, but the Saints have other ideas as they try to stay on their roll and win back-to-back games for the first time this year themselves. St. Francis, 2 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie so far this year. But as I mentioned before, in their last 3 games, they've gone 1-1-1. So they've evened things out considerably over the last few weeks and are trying to keep that positive play going. They've certainly played well today for the most part. But even though they've had more possession than the Trojans have, they haven't had as many scoring chances. With under 17 minutes to play, ball is thrown into Siragusa at the corner of the box. Siragusa cuts it back to the middle and knocked away from her by Haley Hogue. Good defense by Hogue. For a moment, it looked like Siragusa was going to have an open look on the net. Never happened. Pekulski ahead to Olivia De La Rosa. De La Rosa taps it once towards the sideline. Worked off the ball by Kaylee Rice. Well defended by Rice, who turns it back towards the sideline, keeps it in bounds, and keeps possession. Abigail Olsen to the middle of the field. Petrowski tries to take the ball away from Lauren Henn. Henn keeps it, passes it back to the defense. Rolled across midfield. This is Kinsey Gomez, and Gomez sends it back to the defensive line again. Rachel Woods turns to face her own net. Gives it up to Kaylee Rice. Rice to Henn. Taken away from her. It's De La Rosa. Back to Petrowski. And Petrowski rolls it over to Grace Giallo. They'll set things up from the defensive end. Hanyon gives a big kick downfield looking for Martina Katurba. Didn't quite have her. Can the Saints win possession anyway? They're trying to. Mariquin can't quite win it, but she has it deflected at least off to De La Rosa, and De La Rosa gets that one a little bit too far out in front of her. Abigail Olsen comes up with the easy steal. Kaylin Tubb back to Olsen. And Gomez in the middle of the field is wrestled off the ball by Kelly Petrowski. At midfield, it bounces out in front of Peyton Siragusa. Siragusa on the run. It's her against the goalie. Provo tries to step in, and she deflects it enough to prevent the goal scoring there from Peyton Siragusa. It was just Siragusa against Provo one-on-one. Provo didn't quite take the ball away from Siragusa, but she deflected her just enough. Got in her way to allow Siragusa to dig her own grave as she taps it out the back line. Well done by Ellie Provo after Siragusa had gotten by all four defenders. 14:40 on the clock. So we're getting late in the first half. And St. Francis loses possession as the goal kick from Salgado goes straight out of bounds. Olivia De La Rosa has gone to the bench for the Fighting Saints. Valeria Valles Garcia is in. She's working on the ball right now with Litzy Mendez, but it's taken away by Trinity. Martina Katurba trying to take that ball away from Biusic. Can't do it. Knocked out of bounds by Biusic. Or Costos, I believe that was. Another goal kick coming up from the Saints, this time from the far side. Salgado will take it again. And Salgado again towards the sideline. This stays in bounds. Trinity International, though, kicks it out. St. Francis will throw it back in. Hanyon tosses to Katurba. Katurba, good battle to win that ball. Sent ahead looking for Valles Garcia or Mendez, both in the area. Neither one could reach it, taken by Trinity. Petrowski off to Lauren Pekulski to the sideline. This is Haley Hogue. Hogue with the left foot tries to get it upfield towards the midfield line, and Valles Garcia takes it away from Rachel Woods. That ball from Mariquin looking for Mendez, a little bit too soft. Katurba crosses it to Valles Garcia. Worked off the ball by Kaylee Rice. Rice takes it back for Trinity to the far sideline. Good ball work by Lauren Henn. She gets around Mariquin into the middle of the field. Another chance for Siragusa. This time Petrowski steps in her way. And Petrowski stops the run of Siragusa, who nearly scored the second goal of the game just a couple of minutes ago. 12 and a half minutes on the clock in the first half. 1-0 Trinity International leads on a goal from Lauren Henn about 9 minutes ago in game time. Olivia Provo steps up and scoops that ball off the ground. Provo works her teammates downfield and sends away the punt. Bounces once over the head of Pekulski. Trinity gets it back. Moving forward, Madison Martinez. Martinez can't reach it. It's out of bounds. Here comes the throw in from Haley Hogue. Out in front of Valles Garcia. Battled for and won by Rachel Woods, and a foul is called on St. Francis. no foul. I guess it was out of bounds. So I think that was just a delayed whistle because the ball hasn't been over on the sideline the last few moments. But the ball does go back to Trinity. They've worked off towards the middle of the field. Saints in possession. It's Petrowski looking to her right. Ahead for Pekulski. Pekulski controls it with Woods out in front of her. Pekulski off towards the sideline. Nice move to get back to the middle, and this is Kelly Petrowski now. Petrowski sends it back to midfield. Natalie Salgado. Salgado reverses field. Martina Katurba chips it forward into the box, and it's deflected away by Woods and cleared. To the sideline, throw-in coming up for Haley Hogan, the Fighting Saints. We'll push in the back from Martinez. Pekulski hits the ground, and Trinity International is able to take possession. Here comes Chloe Costos on the far side of the field. Costos passes back to Gomez. Gomez sets things up to her left. Kaylin Tubb. Tubb to Hen. And has it deflected away by Mariquin. The ball loose now. Siragusa, another run. And again, Provo steps in and knocks it away. That time she was out of the box. Ellie Provo did not have the luxury of being able to pick that ball up, even if she had tried. So she had to play that off the foot of Peyton Siragusa, and she did it. Second time in the last few minutes that Siragusa has had a one-on-one against Provo, and Provo has won the matchup. Now the Saints on the counter. It's Kelly Petrowski. Off to her left, Mariquin. Mariquin turns it upfield to Katurba. Katurba loses it. Madison Hanyon down towards the corner. Katurba battling for that ball, working against Biusic, and Morgan Biusic wins it. Hen off to Martinez. Madison Martinez is intercepted by Salgado with 9.5 minutes to play in the first half. Still 1-0 Trinity International. Here comes Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski pushes towards Valles Garcia on the right side. Didn't have her. Back to Haley Hogan midfield. Hogue kept it in bounds. In the middle of the pitch, a battle between Tubb and Mariquin, and Tubb wins it for Siragusa. Siragusa gets around Giallo. Nice move by Peyton Siragusa. Now gets back into the box. Another shot and a diving save by Ellie Provo. Provo is making an enemy today in Peyton Siragusa. 3 chances in the last 10 minutes or less for Peyton Siragusa, and all of them stifled by Ellie Provo, who's made a couple of nice saves in the game now. Siragusa has it again. Her pass deflected off towards the sideline, a throw in for Trinity International. Peyton Siragusa came into play today with 2 goals on the season, had a chance for a few more in this first half, but they have not materialized. The only goal has been scored by Lauren Hen. Came off an assist from Cameron Hunter back in the 24th minute of the half. About 13 minutes ago now. Here's Morgan Biusic. Intercepted. Saints move the other way. Valles Garcia's pass deflected. Right back to Mariquin, though. Mariquin to Valles Garcia off her head and taken away by Kaylee Rice. Rachel Woods downfield. Hen turns it up to Gomez. Kinsey Gomez takes her time, pressured by Salgado. Back to Tubb. Salgado pressures her as well. Now a chance for Litzy Mendez, but Biusic knocks it away towards the sideline. Nicole Budak passes to her left. Here's Martinez chipping it ahead to Siragusa, or at least towards Siragusa, but before she can reach it, Ellie Provo gets in her way. 7.5 minutes to play, first half. Ellie Provo gets the punt right along the middle of the inside seam. And this is Pekulski. Over to Grace Giallo. Giallo ahead to Mendez and right back to Grace Giallo. To the sideline. This is Martina Katurba. Katurba worked off the ball by Chloe Costos. And Trinity International is once again on the move. Litzy Mendez stops that. Mendez takes the ball away at midfield and forces Trinity to go back to the defensive side. A booming kick downfield and nobody there in blue, so an easy pickup this time for Ellie Provo, who directs her team downfield and gives it another punt. on the sideline. Pekulski watches that bounce out. Trinity has started to take control of possession here. St. Francis won possession time early in this first half. Trinity has dominated the last 20 minutes. They've gotten just one goal out of it, though. A couple of other opportunities that haven't gone their way. Ellie Provo has had a nice first half. Madison Martinez crosses it towards Hen, and Hanyon clears it. Hanyon steps up once again, deflects a pass intended for a Trojan striker. On the far side of the field, Trinity International trying to get towards the net, but nothing doing for Nicole Budak. Throw-in coming up for St. Francis, or rather free kick. Foul is called on Trinity. Kelly Petrowski will take the kick. Along the sideline for Katurba, deflected away, and Katurba was the last one to touch it. So Chloe Costos gets it back in bounds. Back to Costos, down the sideline. Rolled towards the middle of the field, and another whistle out of bounds off of Trinity International. Throw in here for Madison Hanyon as the clock runs down to 5 minutes remaining in the first half. A fairly evenly played first half, but one that has seen just one team score. And as the Saints tried to start another run downfield, looked to be in position to maybe make a move before they could get to that spot, they lost it out of bounds. So it's a throw-in for Trinity International. Taken away by the Saints. Katurba. Intercepted by Gomez. Kinsey Gomez back to Kaylee Rice. Rice's pass intercepted by Haley Hogue. Hogue sends it downfield, and it's knocked away by Rachel Woods. Woods deflected it off of Pekulski out of bounds. This time Petrowski hits it out of bounds. Another throw-in coming up for Trinity. Trojans at midfield. Hen working her way ahead to the right side. Long run there for Budak. She couldn't catch up with it. Throw in for the Fighting Saints. Taken back by Budak. Budak's intercepted by Petrowski. Petrowski gives it back to Ellie Provo. And Provo's kick goes straight out of bounds on the far side. A good wind blowing in the face of Provo right now. The wind certainly benefiting Trinity International, and it has picked up as this half has gone on. The wind's blowing at a much swifter pace right now than they were 40 minutes ago. We'll see if that benefits St. Francis in the second half. They're trying to get a benefit in the first half first. Litzy Mendez has her run halted, knocked out of bounds. Chloe Costos picks it up for the throw-in for Trinity. And she shouldn't have. The throw-in belongs to St. Francis. Here's Katurba working way into the middle of the field. Katurba with a couple of defenders in her way, passes back to Petrowski. Petrowski takes a long-range shot from about 30 yards out, and she sent it in way too high, over the net, out of bounds for a goal kick. Trinity plays it short with under 3 minutes now to go in the first half. They'll take the long trip down the field, or at least try to. Hogue knocks it away from Martinez, but Gomez is there to pick it up. And a foul is called. Free kick for St. Francis off the Trinity foul. Set up by Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski right down the middle of the field, headed away by Gomez, headed back by St. Francis into the box and cleared by the Trojans. Giallo surveys the situation, sends it off to her left, and Madison Hanyon. Hanyon gets it back and has it knocked out of bounds. Budak stepped in the way. Throw in for Hanyon, deflected out again. Saints are running out of time to pick up the equalizer before halftime. This might be their best opportunity in the short amount of time remaining, now working into Trinity territory. Here's Mariquin. Worked off the ball by Gomez. Petrowski steps in, puts it into the box, and Davis runs in to pick that ball off the ground. 1.5 minutes to play in the half. There was a chance for St. Francis. Didn't end up going anywhere. Davis was able to do her job effectively. And now the ball is back at midfield. To the outside, Budak. Budak under the foot of Hen finds Gomez at the midfield circle. Gomez passes back right to midfield, taken away by the Saints. Mariquin to Mendez, now Valles Garcia. Back to Mariquin, who loses it off the first touch, but nobody there in blue to make the stop, so the Saints get it back. Mariquin deflected. Petrowski heads it forward and cleared once again by the Trojans. It bounces back towards the box. Grace Giallo shadows it, waits for it to fall into the hands of Ellie Provo. Under 40 seconds to play in the half. See if either one of these teams has one last run at them. Siragusa looks like she's got a shot. Peyton Siragusa against 2 defenders. Rolls it to her right. Budak fires it towards the net. Martinez on the backside of that. Can't keep it in bounds. Goal kick for St. Francis, and that should effectively end the first half as we now have under 20 seconds to play. The Saints will take their time in setting up this goal kick, and by the time they send it away, we'll be looking at halftime. Natalie Salgado gives it the kick down the near side of the field. It bounces once into the foot of Rachel Woods, and the Saints let it go. The buzzer sounds, and we are at halftime. 1-0. Trinity International has the lead. They got a goal from Lauren Hen in the 24th minute, and they were able to maintain that lead all the way through. The Saints played well in the first half. They had the ball in the attacking zone for a good percentage of the first 45 minutes, but they have not yet been able to get any really good shots off against Sarah Davis. In the second half, they'll be playing with the wind. We'll see if that has any impact as they try to erase a 1-goal deficit over the final 45 minutes of the game. For right now, halftime. I'll take a break and be back in about 15 minutes with the start of the second half and get you ready for Saints and Trojans as the Saints try to make their way from behind and come away with their second consecutive win. 1-0 at the half. Second half ready to go here in Joliet. ATI Physical Therapy Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's matchup between University of St. Francis and Trinity International University. It's been a good game so far. Trinity leads 1-0. They have not dominated the game by any means, and the score would indicate that. It's been a close game all the way through. The only score came in the 24th minute when Lauren Henn got a nice feed from Cameron Hunter to finish off the first and, to this point, the only goal of the game. Some of the stats indicate this one's been a little lopsided in favor of Trinity International. 4 shots on goal for them, not a single one for St. Francis yet. Saints have only taken 1 total shot. It came in the last couple of minutes of the first half, and it wasn't anywhere near the goal. Kelly Petrowski sent it about 10 feet over the crossbar. So by some measures, you could say the Saints have been definitively outplayed, but really it's been pretty tight. Both teams have had their opportunities. It's just that the Saints, when they've had the ball in the attacking zone, they've not been able to get any good shots off. So credit to the Trinity International defense for really putting on the clamps in key areas on the field. They're trying to do that again right here as the Saints begin the second half on the attack. Saints have the wind at their back now. That should be a little bit helpful here in the second half as we see a trip and a foul called. Morgan Biusic hit the ground there. So the Trojans get possession, taken back by Valles Garcia of the Saints. Here's the ball to Olivia De La Rosa. She turns and takes the shot, and falling on top of it, Sarah Davis makes her first save of the game. So after no shots on goal in the entire first half, didn't take long for the Saints to get their first of the second half, just about 1 minute and 10 seconds in. De La Rosa really was not in position to get a lot on that shot, though, and it turned into a relatively easy save for Davis. Still, you like to see that from De La Rosa, recognizing that if she had taken one more dribble, she probably would have taken herself out of position to get the shot off. So you might as well, when you see the goal in front of you, take a look at that target. Madison Hanyon kicks that ball downfield, but it's taken back by Trinity. You're not going to get the perfect shot off always. You might as well at least try to put some pressure on the other team's goalkeeper, and they did right there. Haley Hogue knocks this ball out of bounds. Ellie Provo, 3 saves in the first half, allowed the 1 goal. Provo entering play today in 6 games started. She had started 6 of the team's first 9. She had made 61 saves. So an average of better than 10 saves per start. It's worth noting she did play partial games twice that she did not start. So in 8 games played, she's actually only averaging about 7.5 saves per game, which is still a pretty high number. She allows 2.5 goals per game to go in. 772 save percentage. Here come the Fighting Saints once again. It's Martina Katurba looking ahead for Olivia De La Rosa. Can't find her. Madison Hanyon steps up defensively, and Hanyon gives the kick downfield. Back towards the back line, and Trinity pushes it out along the sideline. We've only seen 1 corner kick today. It belonged to Trinity. Saints did not get a corner kick there. They did get a throw-in from near the corner. Mariquin finds Petrowski. Petrowski shakes free of the defender, passes back over to Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin takes the shot, and Davis makes a save on a hop. Similar to the De La Rosa shot a few minutes ago. Not a lot on that one from Alexis Mariquin. But you could see the focus has changed somewhat from St. Francis here in the second half. They're just trying to put some pressure on Sarah Davis. Make sure that the TIU goalkeeper is involved in the game, which she really wasn't very much in the first half. Better to take your chances than wait and wait and wait and then end up not getting a shot off. Sarah Davis has been the only goalkeeper to play this year for TIU. Came in averaging 2.1 goals per game, 33 saves. So she's averaging only a little bit under 4 per game. She's got 2 of them here in the second half as a foul is called on Trinity International. And a free kick is coming up for the Fighting Saints. Davis's save percentage is .635 on the year. There's the free kick, and again, sent on goal, but saved by Sarah Davis. Davis, after not getting any shots sent in her direction in the first half, has been peppered with them in the first 5 minutes of the second half. 3 shots on goal for the Saints. De La Rosa, Mariquin, and now that one off the free kick from Kelly Petrowski, but Davis has been up to the task. So far in the second half, it's been Ellie Provo who has stood back in her own net, watching the action from afar. Trinity has not had a realistic attack so far in the second half. This one isn't as well. That's about as deep as they've gotten into the St. Francis defensive zone in the last 5 minutes. They'll get a chance to move deeper on the throw-in here. They throw it back towards the middle of the field. And kicked out of bounds towards the sideline. Now it's out of bounds. Kaylin Tubb could not straighten that one out. Hanyon gives it a big throw out to De La Rosa, deflected away along the sideline, and finally it goes out. Chloe Costos was the last one to touch it. So the Saints get the throw in. It's De La Rosa. Tossing towards the middle of the field. Tubb deflects it back to Mariquin. And Mariquin loses the ball, deflected in the middle of the field just outside the box, and now off towards the sideline. Here's Biusic. Shane Biusic intercepted by Natalie Salgado. Salgado loses it off the first touch, though. Here comes Lauren Henn. Henn to her left. Trying to find Rachel Woods on the run. She's got her. Given up to Abigail Olsen. Olsen works her way back. And back to the defense. Morgan Biusic. Ahead to Rachel Woods. Woods' pass deflected towards the sideline, out of bounds. The throw-in belongs to Trinity. 38.5 minutes to play. Second half. Still very early in this second half. It's 1-0 Trinity. Saints have definitely outplayed the Trojans so far since halftime, as Ellie Provo steps in and picks that ball up before any Trojans can take a shot. Already, St. Francis has generated a lot more opportunities this half than they did in the entire 45 minutes of the first half. But nothing to show for it on the scoreboard as Mariquin loses the ball to Kaylee Rice. Kelly Petrowski back to Haley Hogue on the far side. Hogue rolls it to the middle of the field. Here's Giallo. Baez Garcia out of bounds. Right at midfield, a throw in for TIU. Costos tosses it back into play. Henn, deflected by a Hogue, and here's Mariquin. Alexis Mariquin has some space. Her through ball doesn't quite get through, deflected back to her, but she dribbles it out a little bit too far in front of herself. Kaylee Rice ends up taking it away. Here's Peyton Siragusa. She had an interesting first half. Siragusa working against Salgado. Gets it ahead to Hunter. To the right side, this is Shane Biusic. Knocked out of bounds, last touched by the team in blue. Deflected out of bounds by the Trojans. I mentioned Peyton Siragusa's interesting first half. She had 3 of her team's 5 shots and 2 of her team's 4 shots on goal, but saved each time by Ellie Provo, who made 3 good stops in a row off of Siragusa. This game could very easily have been 2 or 3-0 at halftime, thanks just to the work of Siragusa. But since it is still just a 1-goal game, Saints are hanging around right in the thick of things. Down in the corner, Haley Hogue tries to keep it alive, but the ball rolls out of bounds for a goal kick. Sarah Davis sets it up to send it away as the clock runs down to 36 minutes remaining, 9 minutes into the second half. Davis's kick finds its target, but lost immediately to the Saints. Here's Katurba. Martina Katurba centers it. Mariquin, ball gets away from her. Not sure if she was trying to take a shot there, or if she was looking to pass it to Olivia De La Rosa. But it was wide either way, as it goes well to the right of the goal. Another goal kick coming here for the Trojans. Trinity International has been a hard team for St. Francis to beat over the years, and proving no different today here in the rare spring game. Rare to play any games in spring, but we're doing it this year. Salgado off to Pekulski. Pekulski's cross is intercepted by Rice, hit up into the air, and taken away by Trinity International. Hen to her right has Tubb. Pushed ahead looking for Siragusa, but Salgado hits it away instead. Here's Costos. Lost to De La Rosa. De La Rosa's got a chance to generate some offense. She takes a shot, and it's wide. So I'll repeat that the strategy really seems to have changed for St. Francis in the second half, and that they're trying to take any look at the net they can get. They're firing shots over there left and right, but the last two have missed pretty wide, left and right. Right and left if we're going sequentially. De La Rosa checks out. Mary-Kate Hynek is in for the Fighting Saints. Still haven't seen a really good shot from St. Francis, but again, they're putting more pressure on the Trinity defense. If you can do that for 45 straight minutes, it's going to be hard to keep you out of the net for the entire time. Here's Katurba. Martina Katurba turns back to the middle of the field. Rolled ahead to Pekulski. Pekulski gets a better look at the net and has the ball taken away by Rice. Woods downfield, intercepted by Petrowski. Petrowski works against Olsen. Along the sideline, Petrowski keeps it in bounds. Turns back towards the middle of the field and passes back. Hogue sends it in towards the net. Davis deflects it out of bounds. We're going to get a corner kick here. In and out of the hands of Sarah Davis. A little bit of a mistake by the goalkeeper, and that's a break for St. Francis as they'll get their first corner kick of the day. It's only the second corner kick for either team today. It's going to be taken by Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin's kick goes in short, front post, headed away by the defense. Katurba tries to keep the attack alive for St. Francis. Pushes to the right. Here's Mariquin with the cross. Knocked into the air in front of the net. Mary-Kate Hynek battles for it. Loses that battle as it's cleared out of the box once again. Hynek tracks it down at the corner of that box, and it's deflected away again. Madison Hanyon lets it go out of bounds. She'll throw it in. Hanyon tosses back to the middle over the head of Petrowski. Here's Pekulski. Pekulski against two defenders has the ball taken away. Petrowski battles to get it back. Now Hynek with a cross. Knocked away with the head of a Trinity International defender. The Saints trying to get it back, but they can't. Here's Hen. 32 and a half minutes to go in this one. 1-0 Trinity. On the far side of the field, the Saints along the sideline. Woods knocks it off the foot of Haley Hogue. Hogue and company will get the throw in. In the corner towards the back line, stays in bounds. Another chance for the Saints, but well defended by Lauren Hen as she takes the ball away from Valeria Valles Garcia. Here's Tubb. Kaylin Tubb across midfield. Ahead to Abigail Olsen. Olsen is tripped up, loses the ball. And Kelly Petrowski takes over for St. Francis. Back to Ellie Provo, and Provo clears it away to the right side. Pekulski deflected out of bounds. Throw in for the Saints. This is Katurba. Off to Petrowski. Haley Hogue intercepted, deflected back to the Saints, and now they play a little pinball. Trinity International finally controls possession just shy of the midfield circle. Busick knocked away by Hanyon, and Busick was the last one to touch it. So the Saints get the throw, and Hanyon seemed to think that was off of her. She went back to the defensive side, but it was the Saints throw-in. This one is also going to be the Saints throw-in. Hanyon, big throw, bounces over the head of Valles Garcia down to the back line, and Davis will let it go. Once it rolls out, she stops and pulls it back towards the middle of the field for the goal kick. Morgan Biusik is going to take the kick. Just about a half hour to play now in this game. Trinity International clutching onto that tight lead, but the Saints have kept the pressure on this half. They'll lose a little field position here as the free kick goes to the Trojans. But definitely more opportunities over the first 15 minutes of the second half for St. Francis than there have been for Trinity International. Biusik along the sideline and knocked out of bounds. Good defense by Grace Giallo. Biusik was trying to find Kaylin Tubb. Here's Tubb. Tubb takes the shot and it sails out of bounds to the left of the net. Goal kick coming up for St. Francis. I believe that's the first shot this half for Trinity International after they outshot the Saints 5-1 in the first half. Even with a 5-1 ratio of shots taken in the first half, that's a very small number of shots for both teams, and that really is how that first half felt. It played out the entire way around this part of the field. In the middle third, that neutral zone between St. Francis and Trinity International, the two midfields were both very active, and they continue to be here in the second half. But it's been a pretty evenly matched game overall. Not a lot of great opportunities for either side. This is Kaylin Tubb. Rolled over to Chloe Costos. Mary-Kate Hynek challenges, and Mariquin eventually chases it away. There's Natalie Salgado down the far side, and Katurba gives up on that ball way out in front of her. Goes out for a Trinity throw. 28 minutes to play. Tossed in along the sideline. Katurba takes it away from Olsen. Mariquin works against Peyton Siragusa. Pass back to Natalie Salgado. In the middle of the field, a clearance for the Trojans, well defended by Morgan Biusik. Here's Shane Biusik, intercepted. Valles Garcia trying to get it to Mary-Kate Hynek down the sideline. Couldn't do it. Instead, Morgan Biusik takes it away. Biusik knocked ahead and deflected by Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski works her way around Siragusa. Back to the middle of the field, deflected away by Trinity. Haley Hogue hits it with the left foot, headed back the other way. And there's Salgado giving it a big kick down the left side. Mary-Kate Hynek slows up. Ball's a little bit too much juice on it. Well out of bounds. It rolls out for a goal kick. Madison Martinez has checked back into the game for Trinity International. Martinez, a junior striker from Colorado. She was out on the field a little bit in the first half. Now she gets some second half action as well. Morgan Biusik is finally ready to send this one away. Bounces twice and off the foot of Salgado to Mary-Kate Hynek. Hynek finds Lauren Pekulski. Off one touch, Pekulski tries to get it back to Katurba, but taken off the foot of Katurba by Rachel Woods. Katurba battles to take it back from Abigail Olsen. Nice work by Katurba. There's a pass to the middle, out of the reach of both Valles Garcia and Hynek. Madison Hanyon overruns it defensively, and a chance for Madison Martinez. Martinez along the sideline. Hanyon recovers and takes it away. Good work by Hanyon after the initial slip up. Martinez tries to take it away from Salgado, and Martinez, though she ended up on the ground after tripping herself, did get the ball away. Now a good run and a slide from Grace Giallo to tackle that ball back to the other side. towards the box. Trinity looking to get a shot off. Tapped back. Off to the right. There's a pass over to Martinez. Martinez crosses in front of the net. A little bit too high. Still in front of the net, and a tough play for Haley Hogue as she tries to clear it. And finally it is cleared. Mariquin is the one who ultimately knocked it away. Siragusa in front of the box. Ahead for Hen. Lauren Hen's got a chance. A diving stop by Ellie Provo, but no shot. Lauren Hen was offsides before she got that shot away. With just under 25 minutes to go in the second half, the Saints dodge a bullet. Definitely the best attack we've seen from Trinity in this second half. Couple of chances to score and a good-looking pass initially right there from Siragusa to Hen, but Hen was offsides, and so the Saints take over. Back to Ellie Provo. Provo sets it up, kicks it off to her right, where it's intercepted. Olsen back into the box. Nobody there in blue. And so the lady in neon green picks it up instead. Punted well across midfield by Ellie Provo. Deflected by Hanyon. Siragusa works it back to the middle of the field. Pass to her left and intercepted by Kelly Petrowski to make that Haley Hogue. Hogue sends it to Lauren Pekulski. Pekulski ahead looking for Katurba and didn't have her. Out of bounds for a throw-in. Goes back to the Saints on this throw, out of bounds. Hogue will do the honors. Katurba lost it right back to Olsen. Olsen keeps it in bounds. Here's Cameron Hunter. Hunter pushes ahead for Martinez. Hanyon steps in the way of the pass. Hynek wins possession for the Saints. Downfield for Valles Garcia. Instead, it's intercepted by Morgan Biusic. Good tackle there by Hanyon, taking it away from Martinez, but the Trojans get it right back. Siragusa rolls it into the circle. Passed ahead. Hen looking for Hunter out in front of her. Giallo seals the area around the ball and allows Provo to kick it down the other way, and ultimately the ball finds Provo's counterpart, Sarah Davis, there to pick it up. Here's Hen over to Siragusa. Siragusa working one-on-one with Giallo. Nice pass ahead to Hunter. Hunter into the box. Hunter against Provo, takes a shot and scores. Two to nothing, Trinity International. They've doubled their lead as Cameron Hunter scores off the feed from Peyton Siragusa at a very similar juncture to when they scored in the first half. They scored with 21:01 on the clock in the first half, 22:16 on the clock in the second half as they get their second goal. So Hunter has a goal and an assist now. And Siragusa, who nearly had several goals earlier, at least is on the scoreboard with an assist. 22 minutes to play in the game, and now the Saints really have their work cut out for them. For Cameron Hunter, that's goal number 5 this season. Trailing only Lauren Hen for the team lead. Hen, of course, scored her 7th earlier today. For Peyton Siragusa, assist number 2 for the year. Tall order to try to make this comeback now for the Fighting Saints. They've outplayed Trinity in this second half as that shot sails over the net, out for a goal kick. They've outplayed Trinity in the second half, but that perfect ball from Siragusa to Hunter and a great run by Cameron Hunter set up an opportunity far better than any that the Saints have procured in this second half, despite the constant pressure. And so Trinity has taken advantage of their opportunities. They lead by 2 goals. Rachel Woods Down the far sideline, nobody there for either team, and finally it rolls out of bounds, a throw in for the Saints. Petrowski taps it to her right. Woods hits it up in the air and out. Now it's out. Looked like it was going out before. It didn't finally get there until the next kick. So now the Saints get to throw it in. Haley Hogue. Taken away by Gomez. And Olsen turns it upfield. Abigail Olsen hits it out of bounds. Just about 20 minutes to play now. And we've got a goal kick coming up for Trinity International. Following that ball, it goes out the back line. Coming up after today, St. Francis will come home again. They've got games against Cardinal Stritch and Calumet St. Joseph ahead in the next week. Olivia De La Rosa back in for the Fighting Saints as Valeria Valles Garcia checks out. Trinity brings they bring Nicole Budak back onto the field. Heineck's ball rolls into the box and into the waiting hands of Sarah Davis. Saints have won twice this year. Their last game against St. Xavier at St. Xavier. They're looking for their second home win of the season. And again, they will get another opportunity, but today on Senior Day, they honored Madison Hanyon and Olivia De La Rosa, trying to get their seniors a victory as their careers near an end. Chance for De La Rosa here. She is halted by Rice towards the sideline. Back in towards De La Rosa, and again Rice takes it away. Petrowski off to her right. There's Katurba. Katurba working against Budak. Katurba has the ball taken away and ultimately loses the battle. Good defense by Rice and company. Gomez involved there as well. Here's another run for Cameron Hunter with 18 minutes to play. Gomez to her right, Peyton Siragusa. Siragusa works her way around Hanyon. Siragusa pushes it off towards the sideline. Here's Martinez all alone. The cross. Provo can't quite reach it. It rolls under the foot of the waiting attacker. Budak couldn't get a shot off there. She had an open net in front of her. As Provo came out a little bit too far trying to make the stop, she didn't reach it. That opened the door for Budak, but she didn't get her foot on the ball, rolled right underneath. So here come the Saints now, looking to turn the tables. Taken at midfield by Trinity. Martinez intercepted by Giallo. Taken back by the Trojans. Martinez on the sideline, over to Siragusa. Siragusa hits it with the right foot, off to Tubb on her left. Tubb down into the box. Haley Hogue is the only one there. And so she seals it off and allows Provo time to come in and pick up that loose ball. Here comes Katurba. Katurba has it taken away. Kelly Petrowski tries to get it back, but pushed it a little bit too far off to the sideline inadvertently and out of bounds for a throw-in. Knocked out once again by the Fighting Saints. Good job by Petrowski winning that battle with Budak. Hogue sends it ahead to De La Rosa. De La Rosa working for positioning. Gives it up to her left and back to the middle of the field. It's Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin to Pekulski, looking to get it to Olivia De La Rosa, and a little bit too much steam on that ball rolling out of bounds. Another goal kick coming up for the Trinity International University Trojans. Ahead by 2 goals with 16 minutes to play. Trojans scored 1 in the first half and 1 about halfway through this second half. They've had a couple more opportunities since then. So the Saints seem to be wearing down a little bit as the second half has gone on. They were dominant, at least in terms of possession and chances, for the first 20 minutes or so of this second half. But they've slowed down. Trinity has regained momentum. We'll see what kind of an attack the Saints have left in them, as they need 2 goals now in 15 minutes. And of course, with that 2-goal lead, Trinity International's in no hurry as Rachel Woods very casually goes out of bounds to throw it in. Saints move a little bit more quickly on their throw-in. De La Rosa into Pekulski. Pekulski sends it back behind her. This is Petrowski. Petrowski finds Mariquin. Salgado steps in and delivers that ball out of bounds. Out along the back line, well to the right of the net. Maybe an ill-advised shot that time from Natalie Salgado. It's set for a Morgan Biusic free kick from the goalkeeper's box. Biusic down the near side. Hanyon battling for that ball, and Hanyon lets it go out of bounds. Nice work by her. She throws it in. Looking for De La Rosa, headed up into the air by Costos, and a foul is called on St. Francis. Olivia De La Rosa kind of bent over right there and allowed Costos to fall over her. Here's the free kick from Morgan Biusic. Headed to the middle of the field, knocked back towards St. Francis' attacking side. De La Rosa over to Mariquin, intercepted by Siragusa. De La Rosa taps it out too far in front of her into the box. Now towards the net. De La Rosa's shot is good. And we've got a 1-goal game. De La Rosa's initial run was halted there, but then just got one more kick in and kind of popped it up into the air and at a really tough angle for Sarah Davis to stop. So it was set up again by De La Rosa going right into the defense, and the two of them kind of got tangled up, and they sort of kicked it at the same time, it looked like to me. And again, it wasn't that it was a hard hit shot. It just popped up at the exact perfect angle so that Davis jumped up and couldn't quite reach it. Sent in just over her head and into the net. So we've got a 2-1 game now with 13:40 on the clock. And the Saints are right back in it after they trailed by 1 for the majority of the game. The lead had just gone up to 2 for Trinity International about 9 minutes earlier. And St. Francis is able to cut it back to 1, so they've still got a long road ahead of them as Kelly Petrowski sets it up for a free kick here, 40 yards out, well to the left. Petrowski's free kick sent into the box, and Davis makes the save. So Kelly Petrowski takes a shot on goal on the free kick. Davis comes up with another stop with 13 minutes to play. At midfield, this is Katurba rolling it out to Petrowski. Petrowski to her left finds Hynek. Hynek looking for a cross, but nobody there. I think she was trying to find Pekulski. It drifted away towards the goal instead, and Sarah Davis ends up making the stop herself. Petrowski over to Salgado. Salgado to her right. This is Katurba. De La Rosa once again on the right side. De La Rosa trying to win that ball away from Budak, and she ends up hitting it off of Budak out of bounds. So throw in back into the box. Missed kick. Now the ball loose in front of the net, and Davis is there to pick it up. Cleaning up after the initial mistake. I think that was Biusic, either Biusic or Rice, who mishit that ball and kept it in harm's way. It all worked out for Trinity, though. Trojans protecting a 1-goal lead. Lose the ball just shy of midfield. Here's Mary-Kate Hynek. Hynek passes it between the legs of the defender Kostos to Pekulski, and Pekulski trying to get it back to Hynek, out of bounds. Henn and Olsen are back in for Trinity. So they're going back to some of their starters to try to put this game away. They don't necessarily need to score again. One more goal would pretty much do it. But they just need to step up on defense right now, as the Saints have made some good runs of late and some good charges at the net, one of them resulting in an inadvertent goal. I call it inadvertent. It wasn't really a shot from Olivia De La Rosa. She just looked from up here, at least. She's trying to control the ball, and she and the defender kind of hit it at the same time, and it worked out perfectly to St. Francis's favor. Here comes Mariquin, rolling it off to Salgado. Salgado downfield for Pekulski. A chance coming up for Pekulski. She turns, takes a shot, and a nice diving save made by Sarah Davis. After a pretty boring first half for Davis, she has been very involved here in the second half, and she's had a huge impact on her team's 1-goal lead. She's been a big part of the reason they are still ahead. Ten minutes to play in the game. Intercepted by Biusic, and down the field for Madison Martinez. Martinez clears a little bit of space. Hanyon gets it back to the middle of the field, deflected the other way by the Trinity defense. Intercepted by Kostos as the pass was on its way towards Hynek. Haley Hogue turns it around, back to midfield. It's Grace Giallo. Giallo to her left, Petrowski. Petrowski and Salgado passing it down the field. Petrowski back to Pekulski. The shot goes wide, and it does not look like that one was deflected. So we're going to get a goal kick. Biusic has it set. Mary-Kate Hynek intercepts the goal kick. And Mariquin starts the counter once again. De La Rosa. One touch to Pekulski. Pekulski tried to get it ahead there to Katurba, a little bit behind her. Grace Giallo steps up. Soft on the first touch. Looking for Petrowski. Peyton Siragusa trying to take it back for Trinity. Can't win that battle, though. It's Salgado. De La Rosa to her right. And knocked out of bounds by Trinity. Haley Hogue tosses it in to De La Rosa. De La Rosa heads it down the field, but in the box, taken away by Trinity. Another chance for the Saints here. There's the cross to De La Rosa. De La Rosa looking to center it, can't do it. Knocked away by the Trojans, still in bounds though. Here's Petrowski tripped up, no whistle, and Trinity is able to clear it. Everybody on the Trojans team staying back defensively right now, trying to protect a 1-goal lead with just a few seconds under 8 minutes to play in the game. Hanyon to Hynek, off of her head to Pekulski. Pekulski tries to head it back to Hynek, to no avail. Taken away by Morgan Biusic. And I think we got a handball there. Now they'll call foul off towards the sideline, so Trinity backs it up for the kick. 7.5 minutes to go. Each second important right now, so for Morgan Biusic just to be able to take her time setting up the ball and then changing field position, it's a huge benefit to the Trojans. Abigail Olsen trying to give them a huger benefit, setting up a goal. Peyton Siragusa to Henn. Henn takes the shot and it sails over the net, out of bounds. Trinity is certainly playing the clock right now, wanting to use up as much time and get to the end of this with a 1-goal lead, but more than that, they know that one more goal would put this game away. Under 7 minutes to go. Here's the kick from Petrowski. skidded across midfield and back towards the goalkeeper's box of Trinity. Sarah Davis picks it up. Along the side, it's Costos. Here's Mary-Kate Hynek. Hynek has it taken away. Back to Olivia De La Rosa. De La Rosa crosses it. Knocked towards the sideline again by Trinity, and Martinez loses it out of bounds. 2-1, Trinity leads. Saints trying to mount a late comeback. They were down 2-0. So that loose ball is picked up by Sarah Davis. Lauren Henn scored in the first half. Cameron Hunter in the second half. Olivia De La Rosa got one for the Fighting Saints in the second half. Here comes Olsen. Abigail Olsen followed the entire way down the field by Kelly Petrowski, and Petrowski finally pushes it off her foot out of bounds. Cameron Hunter comes back in for Trinity. Madison Martinez grabs a seat. Another throw-in coming up here for the Trojans. Olsen works her way around Petrowski. Siragusa. Nice ball work by Siragusa. Sent in towards the back line. And the Saints will play it back to Ellie Provo, who kicks it straight back out of bounds. Under 5 minutes to play. Trinity by a goal, and now they're controlling possession on the St. Francis side of the field. That's the last thing that the Saints want to see right now. They wanted to keep that pressure going the other way. And now they'll get a chance to reverse field with a throw-in. They had it down in their attacking side of the field for a while and weren't able to do anything with it. Got a few shots off, but not able to score that tying goal. More clear space in the middle of the field. Grace Giallo misses on it. Siragusa trying to get it back and create a one-on-one with Provo, but it's knocked away. Giallo was able to step in and make the defensive stop, but that clock continues to run as we approach the 4-minute mark. 4:10 showing right now. And another throw-in coming up for the Trojans. Rachel Woods again takes her time. Tosses in right in front of her to Olsen. Olsen back to Woods. And out of bounds. Woods was trying to get it right back to Olsen, but instead sent it a little bit too far wide. So here come the Saints on the attack once again. Katurba. Over to Salgado, and Salgado loses it. Siragusa goes the other way. Peyton Siragusa on the counterattack, trying to get by Grace Giallo. Well defended by Giallo. Siragusa knocks it in front, and Hogue is able to challenge Siragusa and take it away. Well defended by St. Francis. Now can they start the counterattack? Martina Katurba around Rachel Woods. Big kick downfield, deflected out by the Trojans. That allows them to get their defense back in position. Final minutes here of a one-goal game. Trinity International's trying to win back-to-back contests for the first time this year and improve their record to 5-5. The first time they would be at or above 500 since their record was 1-1. St. Francis trying to race a 2-goal deficit over the final 24 minutes. They've gotten one, but still trying to find that second one that would send the game potentially to overtime. Headed by Olsen towards the sideline. Siragusa finds Henn in the middle of the field. Henn pushes ahead, looking for Cameron Hunter, but it rolls instead back into the hands of Ellie Provo, and Provo clearly in a big hurry now with 2:15 showing on the clock. Towards the near sideline, Hanyon heads it closer to that line. Mary-Kate Hynek looks to keep it in bounds, and she does. Hynek turns down the other way to Pekulski. At midfield, won by Abigail Olsen. Olsen, one kick around Salgado. Hogue steps up, and she pushes it to the middle. Headed back by Trinity. Ball won by the Trojans. It's Hunter back onto the offensive side of the field. Giallo over to Provo, and Provo kicks it down towards Hunter again. St. Francis has under 100 seconds to get this equalizing goal. Martinez at midfield. Turns towards the sideline, keeps it in bounds as it rolls back towards Giallo. Giallo gets there before Siragusa can. And it goes back again to Ellie Provo. Provo picks it up. She's going to punt it downfield and try to start one last attack for St. Francis here. There's one bounce over the head of De La Rosa. De La Rosa chases it back into the box, but it's headed into the hands of Sarah Davis, and Davis will take her time. Run this clock under a minute before the Saints have a chance to get it back. Headed by Martinez towards the sideline. Hynek keeps it alive for St. Francis. Mary-Kate Hynek has position. She gives it back to Hanyon. Madison Hanyon's one kick. Intercepted on the other end. Costos clears it. Grace Giallo ahead for Petrowski. Petrowski to the right. Salgado loses it off the first touch. And over to the far sideline. Hogue tries to chase it down, but it's out of bounds. She needs a ball to throw in quickly. One last chance here for the Saints with under 30 seconds to play. Hogue downfield. De La Rosa working for it against Rice. Deflected back towards the net. Sarah Davis picks it up, and that should do it. Davis will take her time, and by the time she punts this one away, the Saints are not going to get another opportunity to get a shot off. So St. Francis will fall today by a final score of 2-1. Great effort at making the comeback in the second half, but they run out of time, and they fall by a one-goal margin to Trinity International University, who picks up their second straight win and improves their record to 5-5 for the season. Good game, though, today between St. Francis and Trinity International. Very competitive from start to finish. Really, neither team could at any point, I don't think, have decisively been said to have outplayed the other. In the first half, more opportunities for Trinity International, but that's not because they continued with possession and sent shot after shot St. Francis's way. The Saints had a lot of possession time. They had it in the attacking zone frequently. They just weren't able to finish off any of their attacks and get any good shots off, whereas Trinity had a few more chances in that first half. In the second half, play kind of flipped. Again, it was pretty evenly matched, but St. Francis had a few more opportunities in the second half than Trinity International did. But the second goal for Trinity that made it 2-0, that's what put St. Francis' backs against the wall. They ended up scoring one late, but that was all they were able to get. As we look at some of the final numbers here, the Saints outshot the Trojans in the second half 13-3, and shots on goal in the second half went 8-1 in favor of the Fighting Saints, but it wasn't quite enough to erase that two-goal deficit, as the scoring once again came in the 24th minute from Lauren Henn, assisted by Cameron Hunter. And then Hunter scored one for herself in the 68th minute. That was assisted by Peyton Siragusa. Olivia De La Rosa in the 77th minute scored her first of the year, and that made it a 2-1 game. And the Saints kept that pressure on late, but were not able to get the tying goal, and they end up falling by that final score of 2-1. With the win, Trinity International is now 5-5, 3-5 in conference. With the loss, St. Francis is 2-7-1. They are 1-7-1 in CCAC play, but they've been playing their best soccer of the season lately, and again today, a very tight one. Of their last three losses, two of them have come by only one goal. The other one was a two-goal defeat, so they've been in every game that they've played over the last 3 or 4 weeks. They're just not consistently getting the results that they want, but they've got a few more chances this year to try to get those results and finish the season on a high note. Again, our final score 2-1. That's going to do it for this broadcast right now, but come on back in about a half hour. We've got another big game coming your way. It's the men's side, St. Francis against Trinity International, scheduled to begin at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. So hopefully you're with us for that one. For a full schedule of our St. Francis home soccer broadcast and the entire soccer schedule, go to GoFightingSaints.com. Once again, Trinity International defeats St. Francis 2-1. Back in a little bit with the men's side. Until then, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off. Thanks for tuning in.